action. Hello and welcome to our episode. We're talking about bullying and hate online, and I'm your host, Paz.
I'm Shite.
I don't know why I found that so funny. Just the way you said it. So I have prepared a few questions for you, Sade. Because you have a platform, and obviously, with that platform comes a lot of hate and bullying. And I'm sure that you've dealt with a number of things over the years. So I guess I'll just start off with the first question. It was, when you first started out, what was, I guess, one of the most instances where you were bullied? Like, was it over a video or just in general? Like, looking back then, what is the first thing you remember, like, you were being bullied about or being hated on for?
So definitely the first thing I remember being like bullied for was my weight. Like everyone was just, well, not everyone, but there'd be like a few comments in there being like, just fat bitch, or like, oh fatty, like you think you're so funny but you're actually dry. Like I'm kind of quoting comments right now, but yeah, it was definitely about like my weight and like people calling me ugly. And also, like, a lot of people didn't realize that the videos that I was putting out was actually characters. So people that thought that that was really me, so they'd give me a bit of shit about that as well. So
God.
Same thing still happens today.
So it's not really changed.
Nope.
So how did you deal with like that hate? Because obviously you're starting out, so you're kind of like somewhat unsure of what you're doing. So how did you kind of deal with that kind of hate and bullying?
So in the beginning, I was really ill-equipped to be able to deal with public scrutiny and like kind of anyone having an opinion about who I am as a person. So I mean, as sad as I am to admit it, I would clap the fuck back, and I would be twice as mean back. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a cunt to people because of how, like, if they were rude to me, I'd be a million times ruder back. And for a while that, that worked and kind of just masked my feelings a little bit. But in reality, like, I was actually still quite affected by the comments. And now I've grown and like learned. Sometimes I'll clap back and be a little bit cheeky. I won't be mean, but I'll be a little bit cheeky. But now I just straight block people. Like, I don't even give a fuck. You don't deserve to be in my space. Who the fuck do you think you are? If you don't like it, just scroll the fuck on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. So then would like your, I guess, body shaming, would that be the most, like, I guess, popular type of like hate or bullying you get, or is it like something different?
No, it's definitely mostly about how I look or my weight. Those are like the main things that I'll get shit about. Like, it's and like, as sad as it is to say, after doing this for 7 years, sis, I'm immune to that shit now. I'm like, oh fuck, whatever, I've heard it all before. Like what can anyone say now that hasn't already been said about me?
Right.
So I'm at a point where I'm just like at peace. And like I said in our last episode, sis, like, I just let people go and be their paru selves, just block them, not even worth my fucking time or energy.
Yeah, so would you say that those experiences have given you like a thick skin now, because it just slides right off?
I mean, I would say I do have thicker skin now than I did when I first started. But
yeah,
sometimes I do get a little bit like, oh, why are you fucking laugh reacting at my fucking hot photo, you stupid cunt? Like sometimes I do get in that frame of mind where I'm a little bit like, bit crazy, do get a bit upset. But the way I manage that is I just, honestly, sis, because of my job and like having to live basically on my phone on the internet, taking time away from my phone and just like putting it up on charge or just leaving it, out of my sight for a few hours has been really therapeutic for me, and just gives me that time to just, like kind of calm down a little bit, get over it, and move on, you know, because I used to dwell hard out on hateful comments and like negative shit, and like I would go backwards and forwards for days with people, like arguing with them, just calling them fucking gross and like, oh fuck you, like rah rah rah. And now, like, as I've grown up, I've learned it's not even worth my fucking energy.
No, never is. So,
No, it
like,
never
looking
is.
back, yeah, looking back at that time, is there like a comment that like stands out and that like you kind of, take time to like not think about, or like they're all the same?
There was actually one comment that like actually stuck with me for a little while and made me feel really insecure within my relationship, because this guy, he goes, oh, I don't know how your boyfriend fucks you every night, you fucking fat motherfucker. It was something to that effect anyway. And it started to make me really insecure, like in my relationship, and then like even within like my sex life and stuff, like just to put the real tea out there. And that stuck with me for ages. But then like I went back to my boyfriend and I was like, do you really feel like this way about me? And he was like, fuck no, would I fucking be with you if I thought that? And I was like, it's true that, bro, what the fuck. Like, so in the end I just ended up reporting the comment, blocking that person, and just deleting it. It's like there's nothing you really can do other than just like put your phone away, delete the comment, block the person. Because if you don't block people, then you're just giving them a pass to like allow them into your space and to kind of ruin your wairua, like protecting your wairua, and like your, I don't know, your sanity is so important, especially in the day and age of the internet where everyone puts in their pathetic 2 cents every fucking minute. Like, yeah, it's good to actually step away and have a breath.
Yeah, wow, that's a very hateful comment, and like we said in the last episode, that's probably like him, putting his
Projecting.
insecurities, projecting on you. And
Yeah.
like I feel like some people, just because you're like you've got a following and like you're in, like a public figure, they think they know you and they think that it's okay to say these things to you. I want to just remind people that you never know what someone is going through, and that your comment might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I think that's how you say it. And it could, kind of lead to something that could be like self-harm, suicide. Like, you just want to be careful with what you put out there. And it's just, as an adult, I would expect so much more than someone saying negative things like that. Like, that's just disgusting behavior. And the fact that you would say something like that, because there's like, obviously it's not just adults that follow you, there's children, and like, they think you're funny, and they just want to have a laugh, and then reading things like that, like,
Then they start to think it's okay.
yeah, and then they start doing it, and like, they think it's hilarious. But like, what if your mental state was kind of frail at that point, and like, that comment really did affect you a lot, and it led to other things. So you just want to be careful with what you say to people and how you say it too.
Can I share a story, sis?
Yes, please.
Okay, so back in 2018, I even have the fucking Snapchat saved in my memories, because I just wanted to remember that time, in case I ever needed to. But anyway, so I had a falling out with these girls that I fucking met on the internet, okay? Like, I met a few of them in real life when I was living in Auckland. Like, I actually ended up living with one. And once we moved out of her house, I was like, you know what? This space is just way too toxic for me now, because, like, these were the types of people who would take a comment from the internet or something bad that someone said to them on the internet, find out where that person works, and they would literally ring their work or email into their work and send the screenshot and try and get them fired. Like, that's the sort of people that these people were. And I just felt like, this is not for me anymore. Like, I'm going to distance myself completely. I ended up fucking unfriending everyone, blocking everyone, because I didn't want to be a part of that anymore. I was like, you know what? This is just way too draining. Anyway, after that all happened, the girls, like everyone else, like they thought they knew me because of like some things that I'd like shared with them or whatever. And all of a sudden, like there was this humongous fucking post up about me with like thousands of comments, like thousands of fucking likes on it, and it was basically them spilling the tea that they thought they knew about me, right?
Right.
They were talking about things that I'd shared with them privately, like how, you know, I wasn't good because like my mum was a bit fucked up at the time. Like I was kind of struggling with, you know, reconnecting with my dad and things like that. And in the end, the comments and like everyone's commentary just got way too much. So I ended up in the fucking psych ward, bro. And like I remember it just so clearly because I just moved back from Auckland to Napier. I was living at my nan's, sleeping on a fucking mattress in the lounge, and I just remember like seeing all these comments, and I just absolutely fucking broke down and just screamed that I just screamed, and I just didn't know what to do, and I was just like, just going mental, bro. Like I can't even explain. And you know, these comments or like this situation, it like really affected me because I told these people things in like confidence, like to not be
Yeah.
shared with the entire world because I wasn't ready to share that shit with the world yet. People only knew me for my skits at that point. And it was just honestly, I ended up going to the psych ward, got like, you know, interviewed, and they were speaking to me about like what's going on and like giving me coping mechanisms and shit. Anyway, ended up getting put on like quetiapine to help me sleep and some other fucking antidepressants that didn't even work. And I had to have like home visits every day from the CAFS team, and they had to like come up and check on me and be like you're not suicidal today, and I'm like, yeah, I am, but like it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And this all stemmed from that one post.
Wow. Is this when they were contacting me and trying to like talk shit to me about you?
Yes, sis, that was exactly the
Uh,
time. It was literally around then when they were messaging everyone that
yeah.
followed me on Instagram saying Sade's a piece of shit, Sade's this, Sade's that, blah, 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 blah. And do you know what, sis? Like, because I've stepped away from that like space and from these people, I see now that they're all trying to do like social media and business and things like that. So like to me now, it just looks like jealousy, you know,
Yeah.
and like jealous that I was doing things that they wanted to be doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like because I struggle because I never thought that people would be jealous of like what I do and you know, my life and all that sort of thing. So I struggled to figure out like why these people were doing it. And when the CAFS team like spoke to me, they were like, they're jealous, like they're just super jealous, they just want to be doing what you're doing, and you've just got to, you know, be strong and carry on. And I was like, okay, yeah, all right, well, yep, let's go then.
My God, I remember getting that message and they were like trying to like, oh, you don't know what Sade's like. She's this, she's that. And I'm like, I've been Sade's friend for a long time, not just
Before this.
yeah, I haven't just been her friend because she's like popular and famous now. It's I've been her friend before she started, you know, Memoirs of a Maori. I know her on a personal level,
Yeah.
and the fact that this person is like messaging me trying to like paint a bad picture of you, I was like, what the fuck? And I remember messaging you like, what's going on? Like I honestly, I don't think I remember you telling me that you had to go into the psych ward. So I'm sorry that I wasn't
I
there to
didn't tell
support.
anyone, sis, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Okay. Because I was like, shit, did I just like leave that out in my head? But
Yeah, I didn't tell anyone.
yeah, if you ever go through that, just know that I'm here for you, and I will always be here for you. So don't feel like ashamed or anything that you can't talk to me about these things, because life gets hard and like we need people in our corner to talk to.
Hi there, sis. Oh, I love you. Thank you, and likewise. Seriously.
Oh, thank you. That's what we need. We need women that support women.
Fucking oath.
Yes. So then would that be like this ties into the I guess the next question is like, have you ever felt like you wanted to quit what you do because of, you know, the negativity that you've been receiving?
I'll be honest, I think about it often. I think about quitting this shit often. Because sometimes I'm like, this isn't even fucking worth my energy. This isn't even fucking worth like all the shit that I get slung at me. But then in the same sense, like I just start looking at the positives and seeing that, okay, I get more love than I get hate. And I get so many messages all the time from people that say things like, literally, and like I'm not trying to exaggerate, but people say like, you literally saved my life. Like when I've had a bad day, I'll just come and watch your videos and I'll feel a little bit okay again. And I'm like, wow, that's powerful. Like I never knew that I could hold that type of power, and that's why I feel like it's important for me to carry on, because there's no other fucking brown girls out here doing what I do, or trying to achieve what I want to achieve. So like it's important for me as well to show other girls out there who are like me, come from fucking the hood, but I know we 843 bitch, and show them that there is a fucking way out, that you can be successful in whatever your dream or goals are. And yeah, that's really what keeps me going, sis. Not money, not anything like that. It's just knowing that I can be there for other people, even if it's over the internet. It's like powerful as fuck.
100%. Yes, and that kind of reminds me of an email we received from our first ever podcast. You read that email, right? And
Bro,
it was
I cried.
yeah, it was so lovely, and I'm so sorry to Brianna, I believe her name was. I'm so sorry that we haven't responded. Life just gets really busy, but I promise we will respond. But
We've read it, girl. We've read it, and we literally cried.
yes, it was so lovely. Like, thank you. And the type of environment that we want to create is that people feel like, they're just, sitting in a circle, like talking about shit. And you felt that way. And, it was really nice to hear from you. And I felt like, wow, like, someone's actually like, taken out time to like let us know. And it was just so nice and very wholesome. So I really love that. So thank you.
I'm gonna reply to her tonight, sis.
Yes, let's do that. So then I guess because you've dealt with like, I guess, other influences, right?
Oh,
So have you been hated on by another influencer?
so I can think of 2 instances, sis.
Okay. You don't have to name them if you don't want to. You can just
No, I'm not gonna name. There's no point in naming. Like, whatever, it happened, all good. It's not that big of a deal to like name and shame. But anyway, back in like 2016, when I was still fresh out the womb on the internet, on social media, I started to blow up around like 2016. I think I got like 50,000 followers at that point, like on Facebook, which was like a lot back then because there was like no other influencers really. I don't even like that word influencers. I'm not an influencer. I'm a comedian. But anyway, I made a piss take video about like girls in the beauty groups, because at the time like makeup was like a really big trend, and there were so many girls on the page who would like be really self-deprecating when they obviously looked good. So I just wanted to take the piss out of that. And also like there were some beauty groups who had a bit of a hierarchy, and you weren't allowed to like promote your like your own YouTube or your own Insta if you were doing makeup because of who was running this page. And look, I have respect for this other YouTuber, because I think she works hard, like she's talented, she's creative, and she's built something from before even a YouTuber was a thing. And she took offense to my video, bro, and I got blocked and kicked out of the group. And then I was with my friends, and she went live in the group, and we were all sitting around watching, and she was like, oh, this girl was just like bullying and like being nasty about our group, and like just being nasty about us, and rah, rah. I'm a huge fan. Like, I'm actually a really huge fan of this person, and I was actually really upset. I was like, bro, I didn't actually mean it to be like hateful towards you. I was kind of just like taking the piss, like, because that's what I do. And I felt a little bit like, oh, like I actually, because I still watch her YouTube videos now, bro, and like yeah, it was a bit disheartening because she's a huge creator, and yeah, that was quite sad. But still
But
a
because
fan.
she's such a huge creator, I think she should like open, you know, she shouldn't gatekeep in a sense. Like she should like open up for other people that, you know, aspire to be like her and like kind of be supportive in that sense and like kind of be a mentor.
Yeah,
Because I think there's like lots of space for every, you know, all the girls that want to come into the space and do what they do because everyone's unique and they do different things.
yep.
Unless you're blatantly copying, you know, someone else's, you know, creativity, then that's like different. But if you're wanting to be, if you want to start out and like, you know, you've joined that group for support and like you can't even like promote your own shit, then I feel like it's kind of not really a good space to be in.
Yeah, because the whole spiel of like the video and that specific part, taking the piss out of this specific YouTuber, I
Yeah.
was like, none of you are allowed to be a YouTuber. I'm the only YouTuber that does makeup. I'm the boss. Like, it
I
was
mean,
obvious. It was obvious who I was talking about, but like at the same time, I didn't like have a malicious intent.
but
So
if she found that offensive, then there must be some truth to it,
true, sis.
right?
That's so true. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, because like, why would you get offended if that's not you?
Exactly. Like, what the helmet?
What the hell, man? Wow. And what's the second instance?
Oh. Okay, I wouldn't necessarily say these people were mean to me, but like, oh no, these people were mean to me actually. Actually, I'm going to talk about a completely different one that I thought I was going to talk about. Anyway,
Okay.
I got invited to an MTV event in Auckland, right? When I was living there. And it was, what are those? Oh, Unplugged. It was Unplugged. And I was going there to do the social media for MTV. Anyway, all these other like influencers and like artists, like musicians and stuff were there. And like there was this one person. Okay, no, this wasn't one person. I was standing in a group. Like this one person came over with like all their friends and like greeted everyone in the fucking group and didn't even acknowledge me whatso fucking ever, bro. I was like, oh, that wasn't obvious. Look, at the time I was bigger, like didn't really have my sense of style like kind of sorted out. Like I just dressed basic and just looked basic, right? And then like maybe an hour later that obviously heard that because they're obviously going around like, who the fuck is that bitch working for MTV? Like, who's she? And they were like, oh, she's like Memoirs of a Māori, she's Sade, and she's like got like a few 100,000 followers. And then they were like, oh, so all of a sudden they were coming over to me being like, oh my God, like I've seen your videos, like, oh my God, I know exactly who you are. And wait, bro, like I literally said to them, I was like, you literally gave me the paddlest fucking looks before, didn't even acknowledge me, didn't even say hi, and now that you found out I've got lots of followers, now you want to fuck with me? Boot it, get.
Suck my dick.
It's happened a lot though, sis. It's like that's not even the only time that's happened.
That's so like, I guess it kind of ties into like when you hear, you know, like people are so different in front of the camera and like behind the scenes they could be like the most like rudest asshole people you've ever met and they only want to know you when you've got a following.
Yep.
And like if you're like a little channel or little like influencer comedian and you're just starting out, they will just treat you like shit because you don't have, you know, that following per se.
And, you know, I will say this too, sis. The most humble people that I've met in the industry are actually the people that are right at the fucking top. Like Jimmy Jackson, he was super lovely to me when I met him. Like, he was like, cheer my girl, love your videos, like, blah, 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 blah. Johnny Danger, when I met him, fuck, he was a good cunt when I met him, sis. Like, he actually gave me the fucking time of day. When I met King, sis, he was so fucking nice to me. He was like, cheer girl, love your videos. Like, we did a little Snapchat together and all that. And, you know, I've actually found the ones that are fucking up their own asses are the ones with like 20K on Insta. Like, oh yeah, I got 10K on Insta. Those are the assholes. They're the phony fake numbers.
And what about like women in your, I guess I want to say industry? Like, have you found like women that uplift you and support you and things like that?
I have a beautiful, like, not necessarily a group, but I've interacted with like so many beautiful people, like, you know, who are micro influencers, even some with like, you know, a few more thousand. And they support me hard out, and like the community that I've made, I'm happy. Like, I don't, like, I'm not a clout chaser. Like, I don't need the ones with fucking, like, you know, like, ooh, famous on TikTok, rah rah. I actually would prefer to be friends with real fucking people in this industry than fake phony cunts who have lots of followers and could potentially get me lots of clout. That's not my style. Like,
Yeah.
that's not my style at all.
Because
And
that can become toxic, right? Because you can kind of find yourself in situations that you don't want to be in.
it's very toxic, sis. And
Mm.
like, the ones that, like, the women and even some guys that I found, like, we're all just on the same buzz. We all just want to, like, create and be creative, and, you know, like, share our messages, and, you know, we're not in it for the fame or whatever the fuck. And I think that's why I've gelled with these people so well, as opposed to the ones who are like, oh, we've got to do this at this time, and like, we've got to get this many likes on it, and oh nah, too much for me.
Yeah. Wow. So I think I have noticed like it kind of takes away from your creativity because you're constantly thinking about what can I do next that will get more likes, more follows, and then you kind of, I guess the quality kind of declines in that sense. Am I
Yeah.
wrong?
No, you're absolutely 100% correct, sis, because there are people out there who, like, do social media, and like, they, excuse me, they're the ones who feel the need to have to post like 3 videos a day to stay relevant, and, you know, like, oh, we've got to do this, and this, and like, it loses its authenticity, and like, you start to notice like a shift into more of like a fake persona of what they think people want to see.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
like, I mean, I guess more in like the last few years, I've started to like give a fuck less. But people love the real. Like, I mean, you can look at like Nyx, you know, who talks about meth and like infant loss, and like losing her baby, and you know, a lot of people resonate with that story, and that's why she's grown so much, because she's so like open and honest, and like, you can see her authenticity through the screen, right?
Mm.
Oh my god, there's a big huge Shiba Inu outside.
Oh my god, how cute.
I just want to go and pet it.
You find that some people like they get so snobby when they have like gorgeous dogs?
Yeah, sometimes. I thought you were going to say when they get a following, but yep, no, yep. People with
Oh
like
yeah.
bougie dogs are bougie.
So have you ever, I guess, known a person prior to them getting followers? Have you seen like a shift in like the attitude, a change in them where they've become, you know, not who they were prior to the fame?
That's interesting, sis, because I can't comment, because I don't know anyone like personally enough, like on a personal level, to notice that shift or change.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, I think fame does change people, and I think having like a bit of clout on the internet does change people a lot. And that was one thing I said to myself in the beginning. I was like, I'm never gonna be like a stuck-up asshole. I'm never gonna be like that. I've got to stay humble and real. Remember where the fuck I come from, like, forever. You know, otherwise you lose sight of why you even started in the first place. And I mean, like, why I do this shit, bro. My family. Oh, if you saw how my family lives, sis, you would honestly understand why I work my fucking ass off, because I don't want that for them anymore. But at the same time, like, I don't want to lose sight of where I come from, and always to be grateful for what I've got now.
I can say you haven't changed.
Oh, thanks. Well, I mean, you know me. You've known me since fucking, I was like 17, 18.
Yeah. No, you haven't changed
Am I
at all.
still the
If
same?
anything,
Well, I mean, I guess I've just grown up.
Yeah, if anything, like you have a lot more confidence, but like you haven't changed in a bad way, I don't think. Like obviously everyone changes, but like you're still like the same Sade, like, you know, that I met at uni, and like we still kind of have the same conversations and stuff. So it's good that you like haven't changed at all, like in that sense, because I feel like I still have my friend.
You still got your friend, girl. Like,
Yeah.
that was a big thing for me too, was not to lose who I was in this world. And like what I've seen with a lot of other creators is, you know, start out hoary, like me, you know, like you came from the ghetto, like, you know, you grew up on fucking wheat bix, all that sort of shit, and then they get a little bit of fame and a little bit of money, and then they're like, well, I'm the shit now, that I don't know who that is, like judging, you know, like all the people that are still like trying to make their way through life. And like, yes, I do like look at my hometown and I get a little bit sad because of, I don't know, there's just not many opportunities there, and I do feel for like my people back home for that. But bitch, I'll never be too proud. Like if this pandemic got any worse and I had to get a real job, bro, I'd go back to fucking Cafe Natalia and roll kebabs again. You know?
Yeah. So then I guess looking back to where you started, was it hard for you to I guess for you to be taken seriously by, like, let's say like sponsors, brands? Like, did you find that hard, or was that kind of like because you had a following, it was easy and like breezy?
It actually wasn't. It's never been easy for me in this space, sis. Like I've like even with the MTV situation, I was working with them for like a little while, and they were really happy with the work that I put out for them. However, like maybe a few months later, they had another event, and they actually got someone. Okay, I'm just gonna say who it was. Amelia Finlayson, who's like Max Key's ex. They replaced me with her, and like
Mhm.
obviously she's beautiful, like she's got money, she's like low-key a little bit rich.
Oh wow.
And obviously like someone who comes from like a way different like background than I do.
Yeah.
So as a brown Māori, and especially being a young wahine, I've had to work like 10 times as fucking hard to even prove myself, even though like my numbers speak for themselves. Like I still get overlooked because of these like blonde, skinny, like rich influencers. Like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. I hope that like that changes soon, and like, you know, we're looked at as equal instead of, you know, that being the standard, and like us feeling like it's impossible to kind of break it, and make it.
Yeah.
um
Me
so
too.
then I guess now, like, what's different now? I want to ask that, like, when it comes to, I guess, like hate, bullying, you know, being taken seriously, is it any different now, or it's still the same?
It's way different now, sis, especially just even from my own personal self growth. Like
Mhm.
I've just learned that this shit isn't worth my energy. Like if someone's being a dickhead, it's not worth my energy even responding anymore. Like sometimes I can't resist. Like sometimes the temptation's just a little bit too much and I will be a bit cheeky back.
Yeah.
But now like I'm also fuck off, blocked, get and within work, like, you know, being taken seriously in the social media space, like because I've been doing it for 8 years now roughly,
Mm.
uh like brands are starting to see, oh okay, the characters and the people that she plays in her videos are just that, they're characters, that's not who she really is as a person. And I
Yeah.
think people, like, even with this podcast, I feel like people can see a different side of me outside of the characters and outside of like the outfits and shit like that. So it is cool to kind of like have this space to just be myself as well.
Yeah, of course, because sometimes like when you're like playing characters, like obviously that's not you, so people kind of like forget that, in a sense, I want to say. and then they kind of start like thinking that you're like that. So
Yeah,
I want to ask is like, have you like ever received like, I guess like hateful comments and stuff like in person?
Do you want to know what's this? Like, no one really has ever said jack shit to my face. There was this one time, okay, at Homegrown this year, bro, it was really hectic. Like, I had like crowds of people around me, like, can I have a photo? Like, oh my god, like, oh my, like, crowds, sis. Like, I'm not even trying to exaggerate. And then, like, because I was like trying to give my attention to all these different people, this one girl, she was like to me, "Oh, you're a fucking fake bitch." And I was like, "No, I'm actually not. Like, I'm just trying to get around everyone to say hello. Like, just because I haven't said hello to you yet, like, doesn't mean I'm being fake. Like, oh." But that's like the only time I can ever remember saying something negative. And actually, there is another time, but I know this guy, and I was at the club back home at the Thirsty Whale, and he goes, "Oh, look, these memoirs of a whale, bro. I just knocked him in the face. I just knocked him in the nose."
Did ya?
Like, what? Boof. Which, this was a really long time ago, okay, and I would definitely not fucking do that shit now, but because I was like in a place where I wasn't like secure within myself, like that was just my instant reaction was just to punch him in the nose. I can't believe I just admitted that.
He kind of deserved it for saying something so rude.
Yeah, and then he
Who
got
does
kicked out.
Oh, good, he
me.
got kicked out. I don't understand like how people can be so rude and mean to people. Like I can't even like I can obviously I'm guilty of thinking like these things, but I'm not gonna like
We all
say
are.
somebody, you know?
Yeah. Yes, sis, that's like, how do I put it? Like, people on the internet these days, like, and I've even noticed it getting worse with like COVID and everyone being locked up. I've noticed that people on the internet are just becoming more and more and more savage and disgusting with how they interact with people. And, you know, people wouldn't do that in real life. No, people wouldn't just go up to someone in the street and be like, "Oh, you're fucking ugly." Like,
Yeah.
you know, if you wouldn't do it in real life, people now have this space on the internet where they can just be the absolute biggest cunt ever and have no repercussions.
Yeah, that's so true. And I feel like just because you're in that space, people think that they can say whatever to you and not, you know, kind of consider your personal space when you're in public and kind of bombard you and stuff as well. And I think like I understand that you like, you know, you chose to be like a public figure and like, you know, that all comes with it. But at the same time, I think we need to be conscious of people's personal spaces and being polite when you meet them. And if they don't want to, you know, photograph with you, if they don't want to sign anything for you, then that's their choice. And like that doesn't mean that you should go on and abuse them in any way. So I think, yeah, I've seen a lot of things where people like, "Oh, well, you're a fucking idiot because you didn't sign my fucking left breast," you know? So just probably don't do that.
And you know, sis, I've never said no to, like, even if I look ratchet as fuck, I've never said no to like taking a photo or doing anything like that because I'm scared of those repercussions and I'm scared of like letting people down.
Yeah.
That's the people pleaser in me. But yeah, and like I do it in a way that I know it's kind of self-preservation at the same time. Just yep, sweet as, wow, yay. And then I'm on my way.
Well, I remember when we went to St. Luke's, do you remember you were getting recognized? And we'd like have to stop every now and then and like take photos. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was so strange because I've never experienced that in my life. And like people just like kind of like look at you like, and I'm like, what's happening? Because it didn't click in my head that I'm with you. And I'm like, do I look weird? Like, what's wrong? And then they're like, is that Shade?
Even now, sis, like, because when I go out, everywhere I go, I get stared at. And I like sometimes I just forget. I'm like, what the fuck got an eye problem, bro? Like sometimes I think that in my head and I'm like, what the fuck are you looking at? And then I'm like, oh, that's right, fuck. Like people know who the fuck I am on the internet. And even like, oh, I guess it's like kind of died down a little bit now because I've like lost my big TikTok account. But when I had my big TikTok account, man, I was having like swarms of kids like coming up to me. And I've never had swarms of kids before. It's usually like, you know, girls my age or like girls a little bit younger, a bit older. And now like, now that I've reached like a whole new demographic as well, like I feel as though I should also be setting a good example for these kids as well by being responsible with how I interact with people on the internet.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like I'm not perfect and I'll be cheeky sometimes, but yeah, now that I've got a lot of a younger audience watching me, I'm way more mindful about that shit now.
No, I'm glad that you are. And I guess, like I said in like our previous episodes, like obviously, like, you know, racism, you know, not accepting someone's personal space and just being like a dick and a cunt is like a learned behavior, because obviously our kids like are like sponges. They absorb whatever's around them, and that's like, you know, the way of life. They think that's normal. So I think as adults we need to do better so that our future generations can be better and more accepting. So would you say that like the online comments and like, you know, people treating you like that in person, would that be like the only negatives of like what you do, or like is there more to it?
Like honestly, I do feel a little bit of pressure to always kind of be a bit present online, especially with like putting out skits regularly or putting out like a workout video regularly or doing lives like regularly. It like is a lot of pressure. And like it's something that I've learned along the way, because I never, like when I started I was just doing it for fun. I literally did it just for like my mates and just for my own personal entertainment. And now like I think the hardest part is trying to transition into realizing, okay, this is my job now, like this is how I make my money, this is how I put my roof over my head, this is how I put my food on the table. Yeah, like, and now I have to be more mindful as well about being cheeky back to other people and all that sort of thing, because it reflects on my brand. And yeah, it's a lot of responsibility is what I'm trying to say.
100%. No, I agree with you. And so I guess I want to ask, what is something that you're the most proud of?
Wow, sis. I think like there's a few things that I'm really, really proud of, like especially with some of my videos going like extremely fucking viral. Like I guess like my proudest thing was being interviewed by like BuzzFeed and Vogue and like Good Morning America, like about my shit. That was like a humongous thing. But more recently, like I feel like a good achievement that I'm really proud of was being interviewed on the AM show, and just talking about body positivity and like learning to love yourself, but also like learning to laugh at shit as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really big. I felt quite cool.
That is cool. Hello. I don't know who told you that was uncool, but that's really, really cool. I've watched all of them, by the way.
Oh, thanks, girl. Thank you, girl.
Always.
Yeah.
Also, I guess I feel like you said, we have to work like twice as hard to be recognized and stuff like that. Have you ever felt like, I don't know how to put this into words.
Say it how you're thinking it, sis. Just
But like, have you ever felt like you were solely being judged, not by the characters, but like solely being judged just on the surface, and like people just constantly like because they don't know you that well, they just kind of like just surface judge you, and then it kind of leads to you feeling like kind of like deflated in a sense where like I can't like, you obviously can't show them what's inside, so you kind of feel like, what else can I do for you to see that I actually am able to work hard and, you know, produce what needs to be produced, kind of thing.
I guess in a sense, sis, like my work kind of speaks for itself. And I've kind of come to a place now where I just accept that people aren't going to know what goes on in my heart and what goes on in my head. I know, and I know, you know, that I can, because a lot of people think that I'm a bitch and like really judgmental because of like the type of skits I put out and like, you know, being like all hoary and all that, but like that's how I grew up. Like I'm depicting my own childhood and like my own experiences through these skits.
Yeah.
And people just think that I'm judging like low, you know, people who come from low income areas. And bro, I grew up on fucking food grants. Like I grew up like having to get food, and like Nan and Granddad had to like buy my clothes, and you know, so like I wish people would see I guess my intent for why I do what I do, because I do my shit for the kids out there who grew up like me, right? Like who grew up in the fucking shitty areas, like didn't have the latest things, like bit of an abusive home. And there are people out there obviously who can't resonate, but I feel it's important to hold a space for people like this, because we're not represented in the mainstream media. You don't see people like us being put on TV or like in magazines or on the news, you know, on the newspaper, whatever. So yeah, I wish people knew more that I actually do this for the brown kids. I do this for every kid out there who fucking grew up like me. And I just want to show them that, you know, they're not alone, that, you know, lots of us have been through this shit. And yeah, I don't know, just kind of normalizing some shit that people don't really want to talk about.
Yeah, and I feel like if we don't laugh at our trauma, who will?
Bro, if you don't laugh, you cry. And most recently, sis, I actually made a video about like getting growled at for pissing the bed. And like I got a lot of comments from people saying like, oh, this is disgusting. Like who shames a child for like pissing the bed, or, you know, it's a mistake, you know, and you've got to let kids be able to make mistakes. Like I fully understand where people are coming from, right? But at the same time, like I grew up getting my nose rubbed into my mattress if I pissed my bed, you know, like that was a really like traumatic thing for me.
Oh my
and
God.
as an adult now, like I have to laugh at it. I have to make light out of situations. And I know that there are so many other people out there who would have grown up being, you know, like being growled at hard out or getting a hiding for pissing the bed. And yeah, just not normalizing it, but just letting people know that they're not the only ones who went through that, and it's okay to laugh at it.
It's almost like you have to, like, with each and every video you put out, you kind of have to like tell them your intent, you know. You can't just like put out a skit. It's kind of like, wow, that's a lot.
It fucks me off, sis, because I see the shit that all the other male like skit creators make, and like some of them I'm like, bro, that is so out of fucking line. Like I can't think of an example right now off the top of my head, but they don't get as scrutinized as I do, and I feel like I do because I'm a brown woman.
Yeah.
You know, and like men kind of have a free pass to fucking do whatever the fuck they want and are never held accountable for their shit. Especially within the social media space. Like I've seen skits from some creators where they're like making fun of, like they're making like rape jokes, bro. Like that's a line I would never ever fucking cross, and I don't think it's a line anyone should ever cross.
No.
But you know, whatever. People are going to be offended regardless. So
speaking of a really funny skit, have you seen What's This Then?
What's this then? What's that?
It's a skit. It's like from 6 years ago. It's like, what's this then, slap?
Oh my God, I remember that, sis. Oh my God, yes. Remind me a little bit more about what it said in the skit.
So they're at a bus stop. There's a few, but like this one, they're at a bus stop, and then they're both from the LGBTQ plus community, and I think they know each other or something. And then they're like, can't even dance, slap. And then they're like, what's this then, slut? And then he'll like do a move and be like, what's this then, slut? It's like the best. If I ever feel down, I like watch it and I'm just like, yep, I'm happy now, because it's just so funny. It's you should watch it. There's a few.
I remember those from back in the day on YouTube, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those. Oh my God, you literally unlocked a memory.
Yeah, because like Nav and I, we talk to each other like that. Like whenever, like, I feel like we play around a lot. So like we'll be like, "What's this then, slut?"
What's
And
this then, slut?
yeah, or like we'll talk to each other and be like, "Slut," like just the way they say it. I think, yeah, and like honestly, when it comes to trauma, I think how we deal with it should be up to us. And if we want to laugh about it, then we should laugh about it. Oh my god, are we gonna do a live react to you watching it?
Should I?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I just got 3 months worth more of HelloFresh work. Oh, yes,
Oh
bitch.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm just
Get it, girl.
starting. Right, what's it? Do I just type in what's this then, slut?
Just do what's this then skit and it'll come up, I think. Should be from ABC.
Oh, here it is.
You slut!
What slut?
You be sleeping around my man,
Who your man? I got biggest mob.
Mark Johnson, fuck ya.
Oh, Mark. Yeah, he been come visit me last night. Wow, you been kissing him up. You been tasting my hole. Tastes sweet, eh?
Well, my hole must taste sweeter because he with me. Anyway, your hole is only good for the side, slut. Your hole need that break in between so your muya can tighten up. Anyway, can't even clean.
Can't even dance.
Well, what's this then, slut?
Well, what's this then, slut?
Oh, what's this then, slut?
What's this then, slut?
Well, what's this then, slut?
Well, what's this then, slut?
Well, what's this then, slut?
What's this then, slut?
This then, slut.
This then, slut.
What's this then, slut?
What's this then, slut? What's this then,
Ooh,
slut?
what's this then, slut? What's this then, slut?
What's this then, slut? What's this then,
Ooh,
slut?
what's this then, slut? Ooh, what's this then, slut? What's this then, slut?
Fucking my hole. Hungry hole.
Oh my god. It's like that skit is kind of inappropriate, but it's so funny.
No, I fucking love it, sis. Oh, I remember that from back in the days too.
Yeah. Nav and I always talk to each
Come
other.
say hi. Come. Come on. Come say hi.
Is that your kitty?
It's my flatmate's kitty, but I love him. He's cute.
Oh, I'm gonna get a cat when my house is built.
Do it, sis. Oh, I love cats so much.
Oh my god, sis, do you know what a ragdoll kitten is?
I want one.
I'm gonna get one.
Oh, yes. Oh. Have you thought of like, okay, if you have a boy, what would you get? Oh, if you had a boy or a girl, what would you call him or her?
Like it's gotta be Harry Potter themed. So like I don't know, like if it's like a like maybe Lumos or something.
I love that. Lumos Maxima.
Or like Luna or something. I don't know. I think I'm gonna get a boy because for my son because he needs companionship.
Boy cats are way nicer too, sis. Like no shit. Like girl cats are bitches.
Yes, that's what like the breeder said to me. So she's like, just get a boy cat. So I said to her like, my house will be built sometime next year, so I'll get in contact with you. And if you have any kittens, then I'll like buy one. But if not, then I'll wait until like you have a litter. So I'm excited.
Yay! Oh,
I've never owned a pet before.
Eh?
I've never owned a pet before.
Haven't you?
I was never allowed to have one. My mom would probably like kill us and keep them. Yeah. So
I mean,
we were never allowed.
Yeah, I didn't get my own cat until this year actually, and guess what her name is? It's Luna.
Oh my god.
Wait, but do you want to know something funny? Okay, so we got told by the people that we got her off, they were like, oh yeah, it's a girl.
Yeah.
Oh, called her Luna. A month into having her, we were like, she's got bulls. Like, we didn't notice because I don't like look at their bum hole. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. So now she's our trans cat. Like, she's and what is it? Gender diverse.
Ooh,
So she's a
fluid.
she, whatever you want to call her.
Oh yes, she's fluid. She goes with the flow.
Yeah, she does.
Oh my god, that's so cute. It's weird that they didn't know what sex she was.
I know. I think because she's a black cat, like her bulls just kind of like blended in with the rest of her fur, and yeah, we didn't notice them until like a little while later.
Oh my god. But these cats are expensive.
I know, aren't ragdolls like over $1,000 each?
Yes, but like if I'm not having another child, I think I deserve a cat.
A kitty cat.
Yes. I'm excited. I think Arnav will probably be a bit rough because he's just like a boy's boy and he's just very rough with everything. Like even when he like gives us kisses and hugs, he just like he squeezes you and he goes, ah! Has to be the sound effects. I'm like, dude, like come gentle. I always say gentle. But yeah, he just like feels so overwhelmed with love that he has to like squeeze you and scream.
Oh, hey, he's just learning, so it's all right, you know.
Yeah, he's so
I mean, boys are rough, you know, like they want to be rough and tumble all the time.
Yeah, we always wrestle him and like he loves it. So I feel like he's gonna like kind of like try to kill a cat or something. So I have to like kind of train him before to be like gentle touch.
Yeah.
He's like all the time, every time.
It's wilding.
Yeah, he's very wild. Oh my, I don't know where he gets it from because we're so lazy. So I don't know where this is. A lot to deal with.
He's a young boy. He's got lots of energy.
Yeah, he's starting to smell like a boy now.
Oh, not like Johnson's shampoo anymore.
No, only for like a couple hours, and then like because he's so active, he sweats.
Yeah.
And then he starts to smell like boy, and I'm like, can you just wait until you're like a teenager and you hit puberty to smell? I've got like baby cologne and stuff, but like I don't know, I forget to put it on him sometimes.
What's that? Like,
oh my god, you know what baby? So in Fiji,
no.
Johnson's and Johnson's have baby cologne, and like morning dew, and like all these like nice like scents.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've bought like a few. Like I got them sent in from Fiji. They're so nice because our parents used it on us as kids, so we always had baby cologne on us.
Did they not sell them in Aussie?
They do, but they have to get them shipped from Fiji. I think it's specifically made for the islands, so I think. Yeah, but I think you can get them everywhere else except like New Zealand and Australia. I'm not sure. Actually.
Yeah, I've never heard of it before, sis.
I'll send you a picture when I'm done.
Yes.
It literally smells like old people like grown up men's cologne, but like it's kind of like nicer.
Like sensitive enough to put on a baby.
Yeah. It's nice.
Oh, that makes me excited to have a child. Then I'll be fucking putting all of the fucking baby colognes on them.
Oh my god, I'll send you some.
I love perfume. Like perfume's my shit.
Oh yeah. Oh, have you tried Paco Rabanne?
Which one?
Excess.
I've got that oil. I look with the snake around it.
Yes.
Bitch, I've got that. Oh,
it's delicious.
I'm like down to like the last little drop oil, and I'm like savoring it. I'm like, right, special occasion.
I just do one spray because it's just so delicious, and like I just want to eat that smell, you know.
Same, sis. Do you like the Olympia by Paco Rabanne?
I haven't tried that one.
Oh, beautiful, stunning, sexy, rich.
Ooh.
I've got that one as well.
Girl on Now.
Oh, yes, that one smells good.
I got that.
Do you like fruity scents, or do you like floral, or like what kind of scents do you like, sis?
Musky.
You're like the Olympia then. It's quite a musky, like sexy, deep smell.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we got off track.
We so got off track, but it's okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us this afternoon. I hope you guys learned a little bit about, you know, what kind of goes on behind the scenes and like bullying on social media, and kind of like a little bit more awareness around it now. But we post every week on a Friday, and if you want to go watch our previous videos, there's some up on our YouTube channel, or if you want to listen in the audio version, we're on Spotify too. If you want to ask us any questions, or you've got something that you need advice about, feel free to DM us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, all at arxuraunties, and like and subscribe, and yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.